All right, hello crypto fam and welcome back to the Crypto Moses channel. Today's video, we're going to go over a crazy idea that I actually think George RS is right about. And what he's basically talking about is merging XRP with Cardano and how that will create an unstoppable force. But what's important to us here on the channel is how will that impact price, right? What do we think would happen here with price? And we'll do a quick TA here at the end of the video, so make sure you're around for that. We've been making some great money trading the last couple of days. I mean, like, look at this, just great profits. We're up 500, 100. This was just yesterday as well, right? 740. We only took one loss, which was evened out by the yesterday previous win. So trading is such a good way to make money within the market. And when we find good news articles like this, it can prime us up to create our next sentiment for getting either a long or a short. Now, what we see here is basically Cryptos Are Us is one of the big YouTube channels. The guy's really cool. I've met him a couple of times. And what he's talking about is he's saying if we merged XRP and Cardano, if those two companies came together, they would be an unstoppable force. And why he thinks that is because XRP and Cardano boast the strongest communities in the crypto industry, which is very, very true. I'm a huge XRP fanatic, so I'm part of that community. But I've also noticed whenever people are posting about that content, it does get a lot more views and traffic because there's so many people that are dedicated and they're big, big supporters. Now, because they have the biggest communities, he's basically stating here that if both of these projects with the strongest holders in the industry were to come together, they're going to have a big influx of people still holding on to both of their tokens. Now, I don't necessarily know if there's a smart way for them to systematically do this. And we also do know that this was evident in 2021 and 2020 market cycle, because after the SEC did charge Ripple with violating their securities laws, which they've won now, so let's go XRP, that negatively impacted price. That's why we saw XRP held back for so long, and recently it broke a couple of all-time highs. We can see that here. The charts literally tell you for themselves. Look, we're on a one-day time frame, and here is when they had that lawsuit begin, and look how low it got, back to the bottom, right? From that lawsuit, in under, I don't even know, I think it was like 2 months, we dropped in 1 month, we dropped about 82% in XRP. And if you would have bought XRP, then you would have had an 800% gain from then. And if you would have bought it to now, you'd have a 1,461% gain. That's why I love XRP, because it has good utility. On top of that, it's also another project that's creating new highs. Like, look, it beat its previous high, right? It even beat this previous high. So realistically, XRP is a dominating force that's going to continue. The question is merging it with Cardano going to actually help? My problem with that situation is Cardano is not creating new highs, right? Like XRP did. Like, look, Cardano is on a downtrend, right? As a trader, we could totally break this down as a descending triangle here. And realistically, if it manages to break through this, we still have so much more to go to beat all-time highs. I mean, we have 400, we're at 57 cents, and we need to get to $3.09 to actually break previous all-time highs. And just to break the current little all-time highs, we'd still need another 116%. So I personally don't necessarily know if merging them is actually going to be a good thing for XRP, right? And ironically, you guys, I met the founder, Charles Hodgkins, when I was at Bitcoin Las Vegas the last couple of weeks. And he is facing resistance from XRP proponents. And I agree with that. I do not believe XRP should make this happen. And the only reason I say this is because I actually think it will impact us XRP holders negatively. And you can see it in the chart. ADA Cardano is not making all new time highs, where XRP is, right? XRP is sitting in the market and creating new all-time highs and getting new eyes to look at it. And after it's cleared its battle with the SEC, it is now in so much more open door opportunity to, personally, in my opinion, I think it will break its previous all-time high. If we look at the chart here, right, and we go, okay, where could it get to? Right now we're here, and we only need about 57% to break that previous high, but that previous high is the all-time high for XRP. So literally 50 cents. So if we move up 100%, we've broken all-time highs, and we're in completely new territory that's different to us, and that makes it at $4.20. And if we want to use the trend-based fib extension, we can go from the first wave down, and this is a quick guess, we can see that we've surpassed the 4.236, but on a smaller wave here, like let's say we do it with this wave here, we could count this as the first wave. And it's not guaranteed, but you can show that we've gotten to the 3.618, but we still have the capability to get to the 4.26. That's why I have such big faith in XRP. And you guys, I am trading XRP, Solana, BTC every day using leverage on BTCC here. I've got the link below. You get up to a $10,000 deposit bonus. So use that free money to your advantage. It's such a simple exchange to use. And now they've got this pro feature where in this pro feature, you guys, you're going to be able to margin balance and use isolated leverage, which is what I'm testing out here on a trade, and I'm waiting for it. This is actually a swing trade, and I'm adding to the position over time, where usually I'm focused on day trades that get me in and out. Like for example, on this trade that we started yesterday, we had originally did a BTC long, and we started it at 135, and this bad boy closed at 317. So in about 2 hours, we locked in about $533 worth of profit. And then it did it again. We had a Solana short that we were able to open. And in this Solana short, we basically just rode the market up. And the margin position on this balance was only 50 bucks. So out of basically $50, we made $140 on that. After fees, we walked away with about $120 on that trade. And then the trade we had prior to that was a Solana closing that I opened the night before. We opened it at 6:17 at 5 p.m. and we closed it, I think, at like 9 p.m. with a $740 gain. So if you just look at yesterday's alone, we've got about 1,200 to about 1,300 in profit from just scalping the market. And many of the margin positions were small. These were a little bit big, but my stop loss was so tight that the whole loss on the stop loss was only going to be like $200 to $300, which is a great risk to reward ratio. So I definitely recommend use the link below. Easy way to print money on the market. It's consistent, it's simple, and it's such an easy exchange to use with really good bonuses. And I really, really like the fee structure. And my opinion on this merging XRP and Cardano, I do like that Cryptos R Us is interested in the idea, and I do believe it would help Cardano tremendously, but I do not believe this would actually help XRP at all. This would hinder the XRP ecosystem because now we're bringing any of the Cardano problems into that ecosystem. I personally think that they should just stay separate, and we should just be focused on XRP because it is a moving asset and it has the possibility to get back to all-time highs and beat what it did before. I'm a huge believer in XRP. I've seen it work really, really well. I think the concept of what XRP is doing with their new stable coin and everything, it is a good opportunity for the long run. And the reason I say that is because it's the only crypto that's in crypto, but can also feasibly work for institutional companies. And that is breaking 2 barriers compared to just 1. So big fan, XRP. If you are to smash that like button, make sure you follow. We'll get you more XRP content that's benefiting all of us so we can really see where the market's going. We'll post some day trades here. And if you guys have any questions or ideas, don't hesitate to reach out. I appreciate all the followers. I appreciate all the support. Thank you guys so much. I'll see you on the next video. Peace.